So I was playing I like have all my stuff. I use this stuff. It's not an ad or anything. I bought this. It's like 12 bucks. But F1 oil, I saw a guy on TikTok using it and he says it works really well. It does clean the fretboard really nicely because how much I've been playing, I can feel that the strings don't sound as like strong as they should, so it's time to change them. I have like 5 or 6 of these things, and they're always around. I bought my nice clippers because, um, I don't gonna get my eyes poked out by the thing flopping around. I'm just excited to change the strings on this thing again. I just barely changed them not that long ago. Well, it doesn't seem like that long ago, but it was, probably like 3 months or so. I've been playing a whole lot, which is fun. I love to do it. So this is my LTD Vulture, James Hetfield LTD Vulture. And this is my main guitar. This is the one I use the most. If you go through any of my videos and you look at the riffs, the majority of them are, on this guitar. And if the guitar is not being used in the video actively, know that one piece of the multi-track, because I usually at least double track. Sometimes if it's like with the Grave Energy stuff, I triple track it. So that means there's 3 different guitars. Yeah, I triple track. One of those tracks is going to be this guitar. Almost every single time. Very rarely do I not use this guitar for at least one track on any of my recordings. Get it right. And of course I try to take them all out at once and they turn into a knot. It never does that otherwise, but when I'm trying to just speed through it because I have other things I want to do, but I definitely want to get this done, it turns into a knot. If I wanted to knot them all up and make it so they were all tied together somehow, it would never work. So I'm just taking all these and throwing them on the ground because I plan on trying to make a necklace again, or bracelet. So with this stuff, I found all the guy did, and that's exactly the same thing I do. I just pour it down, and that's it. So this stuff is kind of like Indust. If you've ever used that type of product to polish wood or to clean wood, it's basically that. I remember I used that on a guitar. I think it was that Fender, and it made it all like shiny and kind of like smooth, and I was intimidated by it, and I didn't do it for a very long time. But I realized how dirty the fretboard gets, and yeah, putting something like this with all of the greases, oils on your hands, this stuff helps clean it off and make it look shiny again, which is really nice. gets dirty in there. Everything gets dirty and dusty, and but, the thing about, they look really cool, but I'll never buy another guitar that has flat paint on it. I already have three. I have three guitars. A, B, this thing. I mean, look, I can never get that off. I've tried. I don't want to like put a bunch and make the paint stain or something like that, but it's already marked because you see where my hand sits and all that. I'd rather just buy a shiny guitar. Like whatever the next guitar is, if I were to buy another guitar, probably will be shiny. Not that I have my eye on a guitar or anything. I always have my eye on a guitar, let me put that right. I'm just not going to buy one right now. There's a bunch of other things like a computer or whatever. Hold on a second. Set everything. So I always start with the bottom. Actually, it should be the top. I always start with a high E and work my way down. Yeah, this is so much fun. I have so much fun playing guitar. I've been doing stuff with a guy on TikTok. He started making drums for my guitar pieces that I put up, and he approached me and he DM'd me one day and was just like, hey, we should just make a record. I have Pro Tools and I can engineer it, and I play drums and I have a bass. Make some songs and we'll. So I was like, okay. It took me a few weeks because I was just busy, and then in the course of 5 days, we made 5 songs. So we have a record out on all the streaming services. Just look for Grave Energy, 2 words, Grave Energy. The album is called Stages of Decomposition. I think it came out really good for what it is, for like me. I would have never imagined something I recorded to sound pretty good. He did a good job of mixing it. He was actually, the first one that came out, I was just like, wow, that's amazing, yes. And then he's like, you know, it needs blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay. I was just happy that we had something. And then like the fact that he was able to polish it and make it sound sonically really nice, I was just like floored by it. It's like, wow, we actually made this. I had an idea and I just fleshed it out, and next thing I know, you can go into Apple Music and there's an album that I helped create. It's crazy. It's hard to wrap my head around still, even the fact that I recorded a record that is out in the world. It's crazy. So we're looking for green. So yeah, Grave Energy on any streaming service, because I even opened a DistroKid. Of course, the thing goes out. I opened a DistroKid account, and that allows you to do it relatively cheap. The crazy thing is, it's like, oh, it's really cheap. It's really cheap, and then they nickel and dime you for like everything. It's like, do you want to be able to search for the record? Do you want to know how many people listened? Well, that's going to cost you. That's the thing. It's like, I just bought the bare bones service. I used some guy's coupon that has a podcast that I listen to. He had a coupon, so I just applied the coupon, bought the cheapest one, and it's like $17 for the entire year. You can upload as much as you want, and you just have to keep maintaining that. I think full price is like $24 or something like that. So I already wrote the next song. He hasn't gotten back to me yet. He's been busy. So my plan with Grave Energy is to try to put out a song a month for the foreseeable future. Hopefully do like ideally it would be 12 songs in the next year. So like this time next year, next November, we can sit here and say, hey, we have a whole record's worth of songs out, and we'll figure it out from there. So this is coming along pretty well. I like these Diodario coated strings. I think they work really well. They do last a pretty good length of time. I would imagine if I were like more prolific, if this were like my job, I would probably change them out a lot more, but I think I can get by with changing them every couple of months, 3 months maybe. But yeah, I was thinking about doing this earlier, and I was like, oh, I can make a video from it because I need more content. 2 more to go. The hard part is getting everything off and then getting the first 2 strings sort of in the realm of tuned. So A is red, E's red. So this is 12, so it's got a heavy bottom to it. I don't use those strings as much, and I do tune down a whole step so I'm in D standard all the time. And I played around with D standard a long time ago, and then recently I just tuned with this guitar down, and it just sounded so much heavier and sounded meaner and rougher and better that I was like, okay, moving forward, I think majority of the stuff I do will be in D standard. And it sounds really good, especially with these pickups. If anything, if I were to some sort of a fantasy world where I can make my own guitar, I would definitely put the Hetfield pickups, because it's definitely part of the sound that I've developed over the last few years. I hate to say that because it sounds like I actually know what I'm doing and I'm like, I have a plan or something like that, and I don't. I just do this because of love of the game. I love to do it. It's so much fun. I have so much fun doing it. Just to have a plan, and just to have like create something and put it out, and there we go. See how shiny everything looks now? And also perfectly in tune. It sounds beautiful.